Chuck Smith wants to point out that Isaac line will lead to Jesus at this point. This is the boy we're looking for. This is the one we're going to follow. We're going to follow Isaac because his line leads to Jesus, and that's all that we are concerned about. And that's why that Abraham gave everything that he had to Isaac and unto the sons of the concubines. They're not even wives at this point. It says that in verse 1 that she's a wife, but in verse 6, she's a concubine, which Abraham had. Abraham gave gifts and sent them away from Isaac, his son, while he yet lived eastward unto the east country. And these are the days of the years of Abraham's life, which he lived 163 and 75. And so let's see, 6. And Abraham gave up the ghost and died in an old age, an old man and full of years, and was gathered to his people. And Chuck Smith does have something to say about verse 8. His spirit moved out, is what this means. Whenever he gave up the ghost, his spirit moved out. You know, a tent gets old and ripped and does not keep out the rain, and it is no more use. In Luke chapter 16, we find Abraham in Hades, comforting Lazarus and the rich man talking to him. Jesus descends and preaches to the captives. He opened the prison door and released them from captivity. When we die, we move into a new house, a building of God, not made with hands. We are not going to make 175 years, maybe not even 75 years here on this earth. Chuck Smith, I looked up and he died at age 86. You know, a tent does not have conveniences of a house. And so we're looking to enjoy a house when that we leave this tabernacle, this tent that we live in. It's a temporary dwelling, but we're going to have a permanent home in heaven, a dwelling place for our spirit. And his son Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the cave of Machpelah in the field of Ephron, and the son of Zophar the Hittite, which is before Mamre. Again, Chuck Smith says that Isaac and Ishmael put aside their differences to bury their father here. And I think that's a commendable thing on Ishmael's part. And so we do see them here together at the burial of Abraham. Then in verse 10, the field which Abraham purchased of the son of Heth, there was Abraham buried, and Isaac his wife. Genesis chapter 25, verses 5 through 10. Ishmael comes for the funeral because, after all, Abraham is his father. So Isaac and Ishmael together bury Abraham. When Isaac goes down to live at the place where he first met Rebekah in verse 11, it says, and it came to pass after the death of Abraham that God blessed his son Isaac, and Isaac dwelt by the well Lahoi Roy. Genesis chapter 25 and verse 11. In verses 12 through 18, we have the genealogy of Ishmael, Abraham's son, whom Hagar, the Egyptian, Sarah's handmaid, bare unto Abraham. The list of them is given here. I call to your attention again the fact that the Holy Spirit used this method in the book of Genesis. The rejected line is given first and then set aside and not mentioned anymore. Then the line that is leading to Christ is given and followed. So it is after the line of Ishmael is given that we come to the line of Isaac. And both Chuck Smith and J. Vernon McGee skip that because it's kind of irrelevant. And they both point out basically the same thing, that you have the line of the firstborn and then the line of the secondborn, which will carry, or the youngest, which carries the uh, the uh, the heir, Jesus' seed. And so we see that